All right, let's go ahead and roll with what we got here. I'm going to take a look first, starting with the NBA DFS lineups for today to give you some hot tips as far as what's going on. Just looking at the over-unders or highest projected point totals, including Toronto, Houston, and Clippers, and Cleveland, I would say here, to include those teams as much as you can in your lineup. So if you want to get this tool here, of course, that I'm using, pick it up there at the bottom of the screen. I'm just going to turn my screen so you maybe won't see it full screen, of course, but you can get this tool for yourself to be able to use, adjust, look at, analyze, advanced, the most advanced DFS stats and strategy included there. Free strategies, of course, included. Just clicking on a link below this video, below the video. So I've already set out to watch Dragic, as I've been watching certain game full highlights, of course, to look at and analyze some of these plays. And if you have this set on the full desktop or laptop version, of course, it'll show more information right here, advanced stats, right on the screen. But if we need to look at, of course, for example, just turning that screen here, just go inside to his information. There's a ton of info here, but most importantly, for what we want right now is his usage rate percentage at 26%. All right. And there's something else here as well we want to take particular interest to. That would be his value at 4.79. So that's what they have for projecting, will he hit value? And 5, anything over 5 being very good. For example, with Eric Gordon on the Houston team, so we'll watch him as well. That's why I clicked the arrow or bullseye red. So he's now in red to watch him. So we've also got possibility here, maybe in the Clippers game, that's a higher over-under game. Although it's a slower pace game, is indicated here. But let's look at his usage to compare for a moment. Or Henson, if we want to play him or not. Usage rate percentage is lower compared to Dragic at only 15%. But he'll get you possibly some other peripherals you're going to consider. 16% rebound percentage, and even some blocks and some assist percentage. So not bad. We can still decide to watch him. That's fine with me, because he has one of the better matchups of the night. Cheaper play perhaps. And we'll see if we put together a lineup real quick to look at a few more players. Also in this game, of course, Chris Middleton, he's been hot lately as well. I like him in his matchup. Usage and rate percentage, of course, good. And value of 4.41. For the Houston Rockets, Gerald Green, looking at some higher point totals in recent games. However, will he sustain the average? We don't know. That's probably indicated here. It is actually in red by the red box. So he's somewhat of a risk, but at only 3,700, he could certainly hit value. Okay, so we'll watch him, as well as probably watch Tyler Johnson for Miami in playing against Cleveland, one of the higher, once again, over-unders games. His usage, although he's a point guard 1 as opposed to Dragic, I believe these guys actually play together, if I'm not mistaken. If you want to check like his stats, try to confirm. He's 6'4". He's tall enough to play the shooting guard. Wade's not playing, starting shooting guard, so we can do him and look at all his points recently. That's getting around 20 points or more per game. If that's living up to his total for the year average of 22.6, yes, it is. Good enough for me, 4,700. So we'll watch him. Also, Bledsoe, another option, of course, always for Milwaukee, as his production in the last 3 games, 31, 20, and 35 points. And it may hit value at 4.55. Projected total of 34, right about his average. So we can watch him if we can afford him as well. And Podol for the Raptors, I'm fine with him as well, as we can continue to do so, expecting a game with him, such as, which I don't believe will be that slow of a pace as indicated here, but we'll play him possibly. And if we can afford, of course, Giannis, always dependable and reliable. And looking at any other guys, we'll just consider here real quick. I would go back to the top and figure on playing McCollum, as he's a good or decent price point, just because he's one of the highest ranked 100 overall players. And we just want to need a couple more. I like Lou Williams. And I just want to pick out one more player, perhaps Lowry for Toronto. So now let's look at our optimized lineup for today. You can do many different lineups and just do, play as many games. If you click on perfect lineups, you can do like 5. It'll bring like 5 lineups up for you instantly. So that's pretty cool to do that. And so it gives me all the players that I want to watch, other than I didn't really watch, Ryan Anderson, but looks like he may not be a bad play. As far as any other options doing, you just want to check it out before you set your lineup. Some other guys that would be kind of questionable, except maybe Plumlee for Denver. So looking at playing one of these guys. So you can save your lineup, and now we'll move on to the NHL. All right, so now we go head here. I've already watched, in this particular case, the thing with this here, the trick is not so much, just optimizing your lineup, which we can, of course, do that here for the NHL, but it won't give us the desired stacks that we want. So I actually went to the wrong place, but the lineup optimizer, if you want to see if it will generate a lineup for NHL, as well as I've already watched, a lot of those players, but as you can see, we're not getting the stacks. There are 1, 2, 3 players we don't want. We're probably going to play Pittsburgh's goalie here, as indicated, but let's see what kind of a stack we can put together real quick here. So we got a Columbus Blue Jacket. We've got an Anaheim, Pittsburgh guy, a Dallas guy. There's another Pittsburgh guy. So they're not playing the same line, though I already know Broussard and Hornvist. But then we've got a couple Ottawa guys that could be on the same line. Potentially, we could play, if we want a sort of a sneaky, cheaper stack, we could play another Ottawa guy. Let's check it out. If we can do this, great. If not, we'll move on. Just to check to verify the lineup lines. To look at that on there, as it's having a little bit of difficulty coming up. So sorry, unfortunately. In the meantime, though, I can look to see what other options there are, of course, as there's players here I didn't necessarily want to watch, at least not at this time. There's another Pittsburgh guy. We fit right into our lineup. Great. With Kessel and Hornvist. And there's these guys are probably going to play together. In fact, I know they do on the power play. So we can look at maybe another. It's kind of difficult to get another Pittsburgh guy because of that. It's a potent lineup and it's highly stackable today as a high over/under. So let's say Dunshee and CC is a good stack for Ottawa. We just want to kind of look for one more guy though that we can stack either with Pittsburgh at the winger or possibly with Ottawa. Let's see. We can even do this. Atkinson, along with, I thought I had another Columbus guy in here. I must have taken him out. But that's actually a possibility for a real good lineup, somewhat of a stack. You can stack a 3-guy or a 2-guy together type deal and see how it goes. And looking for another guy here real quick. We'll have to settle for someone the best we can. And I like Winnipeg with Wheeler so that we can, price ourselves up there and get best value instead of necessarily worrying about the stack. Even though we like to, we don't have to. So I want to leave you with that info for a good